And it's probably cheaper to pay for people to pick up their own garbage. So be interesting to know why they went that route instead of the enforcement actions that they were doing.
I think they're just at their wits' end.
Keep people quiet.
I think so too. And by the time you tie up the attorney and trying to enforce against these individuals.
Just like down here on East Street, it's never ever with down,
No,
beating a dead horse.
beat your head against the wall. Yeah.
So it's 11 o'clock and Shayla, are we back recording?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, we're out of executive session, back into our meeting. And that brings us to our agenda item, the Disappointment County Shop property purchase discussion and possible action. So I think it'd be good to start with a summary on this property and what led us to where we're at right now.
Do you want to do the summary or do you want me to, Steve?
You can go ahead.
So, this is the property where the Disappointment Shop is, Road Bridge Shop. We do have an easement on this property that was given to us in 1964. We wanted to, the county wants to rejuvenate, I guess is a better word, the, well that's on there. And when Amber filled out the paperwork to send to the Division of Water Resources, they came back and told us that the owner of the property had to sign that well permit. So then we started looking to try to figure out, we knew Charles Red had given us the property. He's the one who had given us the easement back when, and after 3 or 4 phone calls of relatives of his, we finally got to the person who actually owns the property, and we did call her and visit with her about it, and she said she would like to sell that to us if possible. So that's the discussion that we're at now, is can we just buy that property, then it's ours, and we can get the well revamped and whatever else we need to do on there, and that's where we're at.
And the perpetual easement is for the
6.79 acres is what the perpetual easement says, which is odd because the parcel itself, which appears to be the entire parcel that they intended to provide, is 13.49 acres. And I can't tell from the legal descriptions because it's a meets and bounds where, I mean, it's definitely not the 500 acres because they're talking in terms of 351 feet, 352 feet, 37 feet, so it looks to me like it was intended to be some or all of this sliver of land that lies east of the county road. I mean, that makes the most sense to me, but it's really not perfectly clear where that 6 acres is. And then there's an easement. And the easement talks about the right of the county to remove the buildings if they ever stopped using it as a county road and bridge facility, then the property would revert back to the owners, but we'd be able to pull the buildings off. So it's hard to. If we were gonna do more with it, I'd be a little bit concerned whether or not we were on the easement of 6.7 acres or not, since I can't tell from this where it is.
Well, she
two
just talked
structures that
about
are
12 acres, 13 acres. We called it.
the two structures that are apart from each other. I mean,
Yeah.
a contiguous law of where our buildings are, if they're broken in between.
Yeah, I mean, the only way to do it would be to, like I said, if you hired a surveyor to do this, to plat this meets and bounds description on this 13 acres to see exactly where the easement was intended to be. She's offering, or the owner's offering to sell us the full 13.49 acres.
Yes.
Yeah. Which would eliminate that concern there. We would have that whole sliver of land east of what is that, County Road 31? You don't go 31. You certainly could just continue in its present configuration, and just don't disturb anything, but if you have bigger plans for that, then she's asking $17,000. I think,
For the 13.49.
for the 13.49. I was suggesting maybe you could offer 15,000 and say we would cover the cost of the title work and the survey, something like that. And then that would be subject to having to do a subdivision exemption to bust off that 13.49 acres. While the configuration is not typical of a subdivision exemption, it actually is, since it's property, orphan property across the highway. The county's often granted subdivision exemptions to get rid of a parcel across the highway. And then if you did do it, I'd probably do something like a 60-day close. That would give you guys plenty of time to do the subdivision exemption, get a survey, get title work, stuff like that. Unless we were in a real hurry or something, it seems like, unless there was other urgency I'm not aware of here. They're trying to do
What I'm
something.
saying is if it ever grows down there to the point where we've got to blade them roads up there,
Mhm.
they'll already have the property to put the building on. And for right now, we can put that earth on there, or whatever that damn building. Earth.
The yurt.
You're
What is it?
A yurt.
the cabin. It's a cabin.
Whatever the damn thing is. And that way, it can kind of, learn to keep an eye on, you know, it wouldn't be, where it would get.
The current situation down there, singular road employee that stays down there for the 4 days, maintains disappointment. Currently hauls water.
They're unable to wash equipment when you can all bunch of water.
Did that well dry up recently? Or has it been dried up for a while?
Nobody used it.
And it's further away from where the house and the shop
It's in
is.
between the shop and.
Best case scenario would just be a new pump
And why unless the pump burn up is the reason that they quit using it, that's what I'm thinking. Or the well plugged off or something, and they just decided it'd be easier to haul water.
Yeah, I thought they pulled that pump and brought it up here for something. Is what it-
Oh, and that
That's what
might
I
be a
heard.
deal too, maybe,
Louis Booker, maybe it pulled that, and brought it back up.
and just didn't replace it or didn't have it clean probably.
Yeah, I think that's when it ceased to function as a.
But I don't think it ever ran out of water. I think it was.
It's only showing 2 gallons a minute, but that would be plenty for what you'd be using it for.
With the cistern,
So we wouldn't have to dig a whole new well. You
potentially.
could use the existing well.
Yeah, well, it depends. Down in Clark,
And it's
I
our
mean,
well,
PVC.
isn't that good?
No, it's not good.
I mean,
So
potentially,
that PVC is probably yeah.
it could, I mean, you could drop a pump in it and it could function, or you might need to drill.
Yeah, but even then, I think they can recase it.
You could recase it though.
It's only 150 feet deep.
Is the conversations that I have had, I have never, ever heard of a potable water well in that country. If it is, it's just surface water, like a hand dug well or something like that, and I've talked to drillers that said, if you want a decent well, you're gonna have to go to the intrada. So you're gonna spend $20,000, $25,000, $30,000 drilling a well.
We got a well permit that shows it was drilled and was producing 2 gallons a minute.
But how was the water? If the water was potable, why in the world would they haul for 70 miles?
I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying is if the pump went out or it plugged up and they decided they didn't wanna put the money back into putting the pump and that's what I'm saying.
And that don't make no sense.
What's the date on
It's
that?
way cheaper to do
The
that.
date on this was,
Well, now it is.
Well, wasn't the well
1978.
closer to the house? Rocky said something about this, because they used the well when his dad was up there.
Drilled in 78.
Yeah, when he worked up there. And he said that it was potable then, but then where he lived, they tore that building down. You know, the older house.
The little house is still there where the well.
Yeah, oh, is it okay?
Yeah, but they tore the old house down, but they left the well house and the well there.
And all it says on here is it's approved for domestic use in one single family dwelling and for drinking and sanitation purposes in 2 county shop buildings. And there's an initial on here. I don't know who the initial is.
They're not there anymore.
Yeah,
And you have to own the property to go in and redo the well.
They have to have permission from the property.
You gotta have permission from the property owner.
I don't know about that. To drill a new well, you sure would, but I'm not sure to.
well, that's what they told us.
Well, the
Oh,
lady
you guys
that
have,
Amber
you guys
done-
have
yeah.
some, you just reworked that well?
Yeah, they said that she had to sign off. on
Oh, okay, I
everything.
thought you were talking about drilling a new well.
No, the sign off to get. it
To
even-
utilize the existing well.
Yes,
Or modify it.
Why would you just drop a pump down it?
Well, that's what we're saying, it depends on what kind of shape that PVC pipe's in.
Can you look in it, Steve, and see? Just look at it, maybe take a nut and a fishing line and see how far you can go or whatever.
Now, you could probably do something with.
Don't you guys have a camera? Doesn't Denny have?
an
a camera?
underwater camera.
I think that's sort of besides,
Gonna reach one.
Yeah.
that's besides the point though, I mean, if you're gonna utilize that
Kinda nice
property.
to do what
Yes.
wood that would be, putting it on.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean, other use for it, have the well there for potable water, other uses for the property beyond what we're using for just right now. Potential expansion, storing gravel.
Yeah,
We even have to have permission if you want to store gravel, don't shoot, from the owner.
We would have to have it surveyed and see exactly where the boundaries would be
Yeah.
and what modifications.
Yeah. I haven't.
So our easement is only on the 6 acres.
Right.
6.79.
6.79.
Highway, yeah. Nice.
And without survey, we're not too clear on where that
Exactly.
actually is. If that's split up between the two.
And I think too, where they own the 500, if it all sold, all their other. And the new owners, then you're gonna have a legal problem.
It's perpetual, it's good forever.
Even if the new owner.
Yes, because this red that gave it's not, that's not still one in
no,
it. It's perpetual, it's better than the deed.
it's his daughter.
It's his daughter.
The problem, Steve, is it's only 6.79 acres of the 13, and we don't know exactly where it is. It starts at a old corner post. And then moves,
Now's your chance, take it where you get it.
and then it moves 37 feet, then 352 feet, 200 feet, 37 feet, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, again, my only concern is unless you know exactly where our easement is on here, I don't think you should expand the use, you know. So you could go one or two routes. You could hire a surveyor to plat the easement and say, we've got a professional easement, we're keeping it, see you later. And then do something with the well and hopefully not get into
Well, I mean,
dispute.
yeah, I'm trying to get permission to do something with the well.
Yeah. Or clean it up and get double the acreage for 15, something like that.
I'd make sure the well's good before I spent $15,000 on it. And it still had the whole water.
Can't be using that much water out there though, are you?
It's got to be potable.
Who was there before Lynn?
Larry. Before Larry was,
Has he ever
Lynn
had
Wall.
not taken the whole one?
no, they haul water, everybody's haul water. See, there was, I don't remember who was before him.
What if there was no water there?
Right,
Is it what's it worth?
there was a reason it was discontinued.
But I mean, what's it worth if there was no water? What's it worth to road and bridge with no water?
But you got a perpetual easement.
15,000, sure. We own Fish Creek, why not own this appointment too, so we don't have no arguments on anybody.
But a perpetual easement's better than a deed.
But the easement's only to 6.79 acres. It's not to the whole 13. We don't know exactly where the 6.79 acre easement is.
And they don't either.
And if it grows in that disappointing groundhog area and there gets enough people there, where we have to start plowing snow, we're gonna be putting another building on the property we don't own. Already got buildings on top of the property we don't own.
Mhm. You think, Linda?
Now, we own Fish Creek, right?
We own Fish Creek building.
I don't think she knows, she doesn't
No.
even know where it's at when
I
we
mean,
got to it, she didn't even know where it was,
To know definitively would have to have a survey.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Is there a chance that that survey comes back and we're off of our 6.79 acres?
Yeah.
Yes,
Possibility.
by the look of this.
I mean, looking at it,
We're spread pretty wide on 13 acres to say it's within 6.
I mean, just looking at it, looks like we're taking up a little more than half.
Oh, yeah, that's.
So,
I mean, I'm not trying to minimize the value of $1 and say 15 isn't anything, but to clean up something permanently and to allow the county just free reign of this 13 acres, doesn't seem like an astronomical figure.
She's out of town until the first part of June, and then she's going to call us back. We told her when we talked to her last week, we would have to visit with you guys and get what you guys thought, and then we could let her know when she calls.
Can you ask her about the water? If she knows.
She won't know. We've already pretty much.
She inherited the
About-
property
she
from-
inherited it.
Where?
She doesn't know where it's at, or this property.
And I know we're in an open meeting, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a problem to say, hey, look, we don't even know if there's good water there.
Yeah.
Why don't we do 10 and see what she said or something? You know,
yeah. You think those?
Well, especially if you're going at. We have 6.79, what was the,
13.49, approximately.
so we'd be basically be paying for like 6, cause like you said, it's perpetual, so we're gaining property.
oh, you're doubling the size of your
Yeah.
legal right.
Yeah.
And you're owning it, and then you're eliminating the chance that your current buildings might not even be in the right spot. Yeah.
And right now we have that capital with our secure schools.
Yeah.
And that's another allocation should be coming out.
Yeah, I think you could use that money for this purchase.
I think the other thing to consider is the fact that you've had free use of that property since 1964.
You had perpetual easement.
I know, but her family donated free use of that property since 1964. The county's been using it.
But at that time, the family was tickled pink that the county would do anything with the road up there. I mean, if you look at that map, there was a lot of area up there that was not being served at all. And they were just happy to get that.
What is her last name now?
Rasmussen. And she lives in Illinois.
I think you could, I mean, the option would be to don't do a thing up there. Just run it as it is under and assume you're under the perpetual easement. But if you are going to do anything else up there, at least get a survey and find out where the boundaries of the 6.79 are and fingers crossed.
Maybe come back and buy them already. That we've breached on too. Do you feel like it would improve the ability to retain an employee that could stay there during the week if they had water? Not have to haul. I mean, thinking down the road just for staffing that site.
I think you do need to look down the road because the way things are growing up in that area. Maybe it'll be 5 years, might be 15 years, but I'll bet eventually there'll be two people up there opening it up year round.
Who knows, it might be 20,000 the next one, you know.
Oh,
And
yeah, more. Mhm.
I don't know what an acre up there average is, you know, I don't know.
We got a realtor,
It's probably pretty high though, I'd say.
the realtor said it was how much an acre?
Well, she said between 20 and 25,000 for
The six.
the six. When Amber called her.
You trust her?
Oh, yeah, she's up there all the time, so.
If you got an opinion,
Yeah.
if you got an opinion that it's. No, it's not worth that much, the one we have isn't worth that much because there's a perpetual on it.
Right,
Yeah.
No one's gonna buy that, but the six we're picking up. If we've got an opinion that it's worth. That much more. It seems like a no-brainer.
Any other discussion?
Anything, Steve?
I've said enough.
You say more?
So why can't you have a perpetual easement in all 13 acres? I'm just
Why
asking.
would they give us a perpetual easement?
No, I'm just, exactly, I understand that.
Yeah,
Not that I'm disagreeing with purchasing the land too, but I don't know.
yeah. Donate that land to the county.
They did once.
Just saying, but then purchasing it would take out that probability and having an attorney come in. No, those attorneys are.
So another point, if you purchase this perpetual easement, where does that leave you on county road right of ways everywhere else? That were donated or whatever, can those descendants then come back and say, well, you purchased theirs, purchase ours?
The only reason that I would recommend the county purchase this is to avoid a legal headache of not knowing where the current easement is and potentially using property that we're not entitled to. We have no obligation to purchase a perpetual easement, none whatsoever. We could keep that perpetual easement, but again, I think we've already talked about the fact that we're not sure where it is. You know, we're not sure we want to know. And again, we're in open meeting, so I don't get too deep into it.
Well, I think I would make it clear that you're not purchasing the perpetual easement and just going with the surrounding or whatever. I think that would eliminate.
They're joining six,
They're
or maybe 13.
It doesn't work that way. You have an easement and then you purchase the property upon which the easement sits, the easement disappears. You can't own your own easement. Once you own the easement and the property, the easement goes in.
To be buying the 13 acres.
Yes.
Any other discussion? I make a motion to attempt to purchase the 13.49 acres for 15,000 and the title work and survey.
I think maybe not me. Do we have to put a price on that today? Because we're saying a tenth.
Well, if she says no, then well, maybe you guys might want to rethink it, so.
But can we
She
just
said
go,
17.
let's go attempt to purchase. Without the price. Because then we said we were gonna offer, you said attempt offer 10.
15.
Why don't you say up to 15?
Okay, up to, okay.
Okay, yeah. I make a motion to attempt to purchase about 13.49 acres and then up to 15,000.
And then this is okay because
Plus title and survey.
this would be contingent upon, if you could put a contingent upon, final allocation resolution by the county. And so this would be to attempt to enter into a contract, and then there would be a secondary, the way it works is that there'd be a secondary approval to go ahead and complete the purchase.
Perfect.
So, does that make sense, Shayla? If that's okay with the board.
Yes, I think that's good, especially as we go into negotiation with property owner.
Well, and you don't know. You might want some, you might look at the property, you might look at, you might get the survey back, something like that, decide you don't wanna buy it. You might, there might be a lot of things that could happen, so this would be to negotiate for the potential purchase of the property for up to $15,000.
We're in a position to move forward to set ourselves up to purchase.
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's how we've done it in the past, we did that with Bishops and the Crowley's, Fishers. So it's always this two-part. And then, because the title companies will require you to do a resolution approving the actual purchase at some point and giving authority.
We'll come after that negotiation. Certainly. Have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes as well.
And then if you talk to them and if you guys reach a number, let me know and I'll have a contract ready to go. And then we would do the contract and the contract would say subject to final approval by the board.
Okay.
And then. We can go.
Okay. All right, we will find out next week. And she tells us that.
On to our added agenda item, sheriff fire ban.
So we're going to implement it on Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Where because all the firefighters, Pleasantview wanted to put it in 2 weeks ago. Jake says, well, let's wait for a couple of weeks, and I think we're at that point where there's no waiting anymore. There's been people up on the glade walking around, crunching the grass, people up in Rico crunching the grass, unless you're way, way up high. So I think, and also out here, everything is so dry. So it's time to say, okay.
Hello?
Open burning. No open burning period. And then also with you guys having that new fire ordinance you guys are working on. There is a fire ordinance already there that sort of says something similar. But the one that you guys are working on now also has a fire ban exemption permit. So if you come up and say, I want to have an exemption because I need to burn this stuff, so my other stuff will be okay. So then they're gonna have to show that they can do it in a safe manner where sort of like what the school did with the bonfire. When we had it for the school bonfire, they had to put that permit in.
Are you the final yes or no on that?
Correct. And we'll make sure, and I'll talk to the fire chiefs, because the fire chiefs are pretty hip at what the fuels are and everything, the moisture.
What I'm looking at right now, no, I mean, with our conditions, our RH, I haven't looked at what our 1,000 hour.
Notice Steve passed away.
Content is, but I'm
So
guessing
I will
it's
talk to
probably
him about it and then
ours.
we'll
Well,
figure
according
it
to
out.
Charles
Okay.
Miller from DFPC,
Okay,
he said
he's headed back over there.
Egner did a perfect
All right.
timing. He said, now we're just waiting for you guys to do the same thing. And that the only reason I was waiting to maybe get through Memorial Day.
Yeah,
And thank goodness we got through Memorial Day without anyone doing something crazy.
or like,
Fires? And
No
those-
fires. Correct.
So, the only I would say is, I'm not sure you guys are really ready to talk about the new language of the fire ordinance. I think that's for another day and you guys can talk
Okay.
about it. But in terms of this one, this is under our current fire ban ordinance.
stage one.
And this is, let me give you the fire ban ordinance to say they have it.
It should be on there. Did we not put it on there? She was supposed to put it
It's
on
just
there.
CRS.
Okay, she should have put the fire ordinance, but I guess she forgot that part of it. I did give it to her. 11 dash,
02 or something.
you know, something.
No.
That's the one that it's in the book inside Margaret's when Shay was off. It was
2019-01, we did a fire ban ordinance.
Oh,
We'll make a note
All in a
of
second.
that one. Okay.
but I think it'd be good. And I would like, sometimes it's also an education process because people park their cars on top of dry grass. And that's what causes most of the problems.
Structure fire down Road 8 was.
Correct. Because you parked in the dry, you parked in the dry grass.
Yeah.
And that's what causes it. It's not necessarily campfire.
Second one down with those trailers.
Oh.
So the heat just smolders and then all of a sudden whoosh,
Ignites your pine fuels underneath cheap grass.
and he heats it up. So maybe it's an education thing that we have to, maybe we need to put that on our Facebook page too. This is don't park on dry grass.
Common sense. Nobody has,
100% agree with you. Common sense helps a lot.
when it's real bad, we don't even drive up to no place in certain spots.
You better be on some bare dirt. Yeah.
So it's, or it is ordinance 2011-2. Margaret was right. We drafted it. It was one of the first things we did back in olden days. It's not a bad ordinance. The only reason we had to update it is because they revised the ordinance to require that you have an open ban permitting process in place.
Yeah.
Which is gonna be called the sheriff, which is gonna be our open ban permitting process.
That would be
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
And you guys saw this.
I think you both saw that when you went up there. I think you did.
Remember that.
Did you already show it to everybody?
I've seen that since been down the road. Lately, recently.
So our current fire ban, current fire ban says that the Board of County Commissioners, the County of Dolores, or the Dolores County Sheriff shall, whenever the danger of forest or grass fires is found to be high and without further proceedings or resolution, have the authority to declare an open fire ban, which may include restrictions on the sale, use, and possession of fireworks. Any such declaration made pursuant to this section shall specify the duration of the fire ban and the parameters of the fire ban as determined to be necessary and appropriate. And then publication of the notice takes place. And then there's unlawful contact, unlawful conduct. This still says petty offense. Frankly, I think it's a civil.
Civil infraction.
I think it turns to a civil infraction. That was another reason we did update ours. Anyway. You're supposed to have some credible evidence provided on the record by the sheriff. Which I think you just did. And then you should have a duration. You could say until further notice, I think.
Yeah, until further, I would agree with that, further notice.
And then you want to be consistent with the stage one.
Stage 1 fire restrictions. The only issue I have with the stage 1 fire restriction, they're allowing someone to weld outdoors as long as there's this radius of 10 feet. In my opinion, that's a bunch of poppycock because sparks don't understand what 10 feet are.
They also have to have a certain fire extinguisher.
Oh, yeah, fire extinguisher, yeah.
That's what started that big fire that was into Morgan's Welders.
Well, and Dan Warden's did that too.
Where?
Dan Warden did it out on Squaw Point. And it was because of a welder spark and we didn't see that spark go. It was clear around the welder, but outside it wasn't. So I guess it is what it is. If they don't do the proper safety precautions, I guess we started a fire when they shouldn't have.
So are you going to list the stage 1 restrictions?
Yes, we will. It should be on that letter.
Yeah, does it say woman?
No,
It's not on there?
welding's not on.
Okay,
Just talking about open fires. I'll see what we mean.
I didn't read it completely, so I'm sorry.
What was our signs, our laminated signs, were they stage 1 or were they stage
What did we get to last year?
That was the stage one.
Have them.
We have them.
But it sure didn't keep somebody from building a fire, burning half the
No.
East Pine down almost.
So
That's what worries me the most.
stage one, just for the record, stage one, under the proposed one that hasn't been adopted yet, but it should be consistent with what, no one else uses. Open fire is defined as setting fire to any grass, wood, or other combustible material outside of an enclosed structure. The use of explosive and fireworks of all kinds and brands, or outdoor welding or operating in a settling or other torch with an open flame other than in an area cleared of all flammable materials. And that's stage one. And then it does not include emissions from fireplaces, fire pits, chimeras, or other wood burning containers that have been approved for residential, recreation, or aesthetic purposes. Fireplace, campfire outside a structure or living accommodation contained by a fireplace, pit, or permanent grate used for cooking personal warmth.
You can't, well,
That's what I was saying. But it says you can't. According to the feds,
Does it have the mesh screen restriction on that, 1/4 inch? Inside?
for the burning barrels.
Or is it just this?
So the fire stages that I have in the next draft is, open fires, including agriculture, burning of fields, fence rows, ditches, piles, slash, or wildland broadcast burning.
So that's
Smoking except within an enclosed vehicle building where legal and allowed.
that was one from last year.
There's the one for last.
Use of a fire, use of a chainsaw or other internal combustion engine without its properly installed and operational USB or SA spark arrestor, burning of trash. Use of explosives or fireworks of any kind to include exploding targets or tracer ammunition. And then welding, if conducted in a safe manner in an area void of combustible materials for 10 feet in diameter and in possession of a chemical pressurized fire extinguisher with a minimum rating of 2A. It's still permitted to use, to do a professional fireworks display with a valid permit. You can still target practice, but you can't use tracer ammunition or
Yeah.
you can still use liquid or gas fueled stoves, lanterns, and heating devices with a controlled flame and shut off valve.
Don't throw cigarette butts out the window.
You can still use a residential fire feature such as a chimney, tiki torches, or gas fire pits when supervised by a responsible adult. You can still use a fully enclosed sheep herder stove with a spark arrestor. And you.
There should be a burning barrel thing with this, with the screen around it to where the embers are not allowed to get out of it.
So it's, you can still use a fire within fires within a permanent fire pit, ring, or barbecue grill at a private residence or within a developed recreational site such as a campground or picnic area that is completely void of combustible materials on the ground. So technically, if you're at your house, you can still have a fire pit, which is awfully close to a burn barrel in my mind.
That's what I would say.
I mean, I burned my stuff in a fire pit. A barrel.
I do too.
Yeah.
Is that clear as mud?
Yeah, I think it gives people direction to follow.
Well, it's a good reminder that I mean, it's a good slap upside the head to say, hey,
Pay
it
attention.
shouldn't be burned.
Yeah.
But pay attention to conditions. So with the fire ban exemption permit, I see the fire district supervisor being notified. My guess is probably most of these are gonna come from the fire protection district for their controlled burns.
It could, yes. And also I agree with the Jake.
This is the control burns, get out of. control.
Yeah.
So either Jake or Angela or Todd or Toby, those are the guys that are gonna say, oh, absolutely not, can they burn?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fire.
Or just what we do if you have.
Like with the list of controlled burns, they have typically it starts with like a site inspection of what it's gonna take to mitigate the risks around that burn. And some of them are like, we can't do that this year. Simply because where it's located or whatever, some it's like, this isn't gonna be a problem, it's already in the plan.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's who's ultimately gonna say, yes, we can defend this fire.
Yeah, we have the capability to make sure it stays
Yeah.
controlled, or we don't.
We can defend this fire or we can't.
Oh, they have a firehouse sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's-
Yeah.
Because I don't just say, oh, screw you firefighters, I'm not gonna listen. Go ahead and burn your crap.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna do that. Because the firefighters are the ones who are gonna have to come put stuff out.
I think it's the best avenue of actually ensuring stuff can still get burned even though conditions are.
Correct. I agree. Instead of having a big mess.
Yeah, so just saying, yeah, we can't burn anything this year, how can we mitigate it so you can, but,
Yep.
or
Yep.
if you can. It's cool.
And that came from Montezuma County, that's what Montezuma County does,
Yeah.
so that's where that fire ban permit came from. And they've been using it for years.
So did you do a motion to, take the recommendations of the sheriff in implementing stage 1 fire restrictions as, read into the record?
Not yet, but I make a motion to take the recommendations from Sheriff Wilson on stage 1 fire restriction and is presented into the record.
That'll begin on the 27th at 11:59 PM.
Yep, and that will be implemented Wednesday, May 27th at
Stays.
12 AM,
Oh, does it say 12 AM?
which will be
Yeah.
midnight tonight.
Minute.
Oh, midnight tonight.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
midnight
sorry.
tonight.
Midnight tonight. then.
And the duration, since we have to give a duration would be.
Until further notice.
Till further notice. Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Hi.
Yes as well.
Okay,
Stage
Thank
1
you,
fire ban in place,
okay,
beginning May 27th, 26th at midnight,
okay,
until further notice.
okay. Thank you,
Which
guys.
I'm guessing the way conditions are looking, until further notice is probably gonna go to a stage 2.
It's gonna be that's gonna be about December.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then stage 2, they might close the forest, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they're looking at. Tom Rice said that the other day, they may have to because the condition is so horrible.
Have you been up high, Shayla?
Oh, yeah, that's
This.
Coming up and over Ormiston, it looked brown in some spots.
drier over there, but they.
Yeah. Figured it was take a little longer with some of the recent moisture, but it looked brown in some spots.
It's not good. So is the larkspur gone? Is the purple gone?
Yeah.
Is it? Good, we could go mountain.
Are we off?
No, we gotta adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
Motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's interesting, in one county it says, their duration, their fire bans, in their ordinance, I didn't draft it, before me says, until there's 3 feet of snow on the ground.
I didn't see it.